Hey you, if you're new to my channel, my name is Angela. I am on a spiritual journey as well as a weight loss journey. I'm down 34 pounds using Weight Watchers as well as the law of attraction. I have videos about that in the description box below. This video is something I am excited to bring to you. I feel as if it will bless you. I hope and pray that it will bless you as it has blessed me. This is a video in which I interview angelic medium Debbie Johnson, someone who I believe helped me kick off my personal spiritual journey. I've come so far in the 2 months since I first did a one-on-one session with her. I met her at a blogger event last year, and it was just so compelling to meet her in person. I had always struggled with the beliefs of angelic mediums, as in, is what they are doing a very good thing? Because I am a Christian, I was raised Southern Baptist, so I had a fear there. I had a fear like it's opening portals or demons or whatever, and I just had that fear that it was an occult thing or it was not good, it was not positive. When I met Debbie and I was at the blogger event last year, she was able to channel my grandfather, and he was the most Christian man you would have ever met in your life. So he was a deacon in the church, and I'm surprised he wasn't a preacher. Like, he was just a man of true faith. So for him to have been there last year and to give me messages, Debbie was able to tell me things that there's absolutely no way she would have known. Only my papa knew. That I just truly believe it. I believe that Debbie's gifts of being able to speak to our loved ones who have passed and to hear messages directly from angels themselves is a true blessing. It is her business. I will have her information if you'd like to schedule a session with her in the description box below, so check that out. But for this particular video, I wanted to ask her about herself and to find out about her own journey. She had very important messages from the angels, especially regarding coronavirus. So I hope that if you're watching this in the future, just skip over that part. It's a very brief message, but it's very important in this time when I'm uploading it. So hopefully people will see it. So if you'd like to see how this interview with Debbie went, then stay tuned. Today, it is my pleasure to be interviewing Debbie Johnson, an angelic medium who has helped me tremendously in my life, as well as several of my friends and family members. So today we're going to be talking about many different things, including the angels. So Debbie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Angela. I'm looking forward to this.
Well, I've been very excited. I didn't even tell you what we were talking about because first I wanted to give you an open platform. If you had any messages that you felt everybody needed to hear, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you think the angels want to talk about.
Well, today, especially during the pandemic, I really want to talk about next Monday, the day after Easter. It is a critical day for decline of the virus. And by the end of April, we'll see a rapid decline and back to work in most states by May 1st. Not all, but I want to let everyone know it's on its way out. And
I'm
that I
sure
got
you
from
can
the
do.
angels. Yeah.
You know what? I feel that everybody you've been speaking with lately has probably asked you that question right off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really popular question. So I figure on a group level, let everyone know. I keep getting the day April 13th is there's an announcement or a rapid decline, and it just declines rapidly after that. So we really have that to look forward to.
That's so good. We all need the message of hope, especially right now. I had
Yeah.
some little chills while you were talking, so I think that you're probably right
Oh,
on track.
angel bumps.
Yeah,
I
when you
call
said
those
that,
angel bumps.
that's actually, you taught me that. You were like, that's how your guardian angel lets you know you're on the right track. So um,
Yeah.
I really wanted to also, first of all, I wanted to give you the chance to say whatever you felt was the most important thing to say, which I'm not surprised that that was the message you were led to share. And if there's anything else that you think people need to know, please feel free to just jump in. I actually kind of just wanted to interview you about you and
Oh,
your
okay.
journey and how your life has come to this place where you are right now, because obviously I have worked with you multiple times. I have sent by this point like 5 or 6 people to you. Everybody who you speak with has called me and said this is amazing. She's such a huge blessing. And I want to give my testimonial about how you have made my life so much better. I think that you kind of kicked off my spiritual awakening, if you will, because I never really, it's not that I didn't believe in the presence of angels. I was brought up Southern Baptist. I claim the identity of Christian, and I just
Mhm.
kind of ignored them. I hate to say that because I don't think Southern Baptists teach you to ignore angels. That was my personal thing. So meeting you last year, I met you at a blogger event, and just seeing the gift that you have, I'm so grateful that I've been able to work with you. How did you get to this point? I'm very interested in your story because it's such a unique path.
Like you, I was brought up Southern Baptist. So,
What?
yes.
No
So
way.
nothing I know now was what I was taught. Um, at a very young age, I could see people that other people couldn't see. And I was told to stop doing that. And I think I scared some people. And the fact that they were scared scared me.
Absolutely.
So it went dormant up until I got into my 20s and started writing music. Then I started seeing loved ones of fellow musicians, and I could hear them the way I would hear music in my head before I would write it. So
Wow.
it was coming to me this in this way. So I, as a musician, I would hear a melody and then I would sing it, and that's how I would learn to write songs, or began to write songs in my 20s. And while I was doing that, I would also hear loved ones talk, and I would start to see them again of the musicians I'm working with. So it came back through music. It came back in a very unique way. Um, at that time, I did not see angels. I only saw and felt loved ones. And it still didn't feel right because some people were not happy with hearing what I had to say. And I didn't know how to, you know, present it. So it kind of scared me again. It's the second time I know I was like, this, I don't know if this is good. And because of my upbringing, it was, not in my core to know that, this might be a bad thing. So I had a really spiritual struggle with the gift, but it wouldn't go away. And that's where I was like, okay, I had a conversation with God. I said, God, if you want me to do this, I'll do it. But it has to help people. And if it doesn't help people and make them feel better, I want it taken away. I like had this moment, a God moment where, I was like very upset about it, and I wanted to live my life. And I also asked God, can I please just live my life, and have a normal life? And that was my request to God. And what happened was really interesting. I started getting panic attacks, these awful panic attacks. Like, I can't even explain it. I couldn't drive, I couldn't eat. And this was for about 30 days. And I thought, no medication was working, nothing I was trying to do, like, music, breathing, nothing was making them calm down. And I was walking in Atlanta and I saw this little sign in a bookstore that said Reiki. And I said, I need that. Did not know what it was. It was totally God or the angels or intuition. And I had one Reiki session and the panic attacks started to subside.
Wow.
So I knew there was something magic, something magical out there that was good, because that was a good experience. So I started to learn Reiki and treat other people once I healed from anxiety, especially for anxiety. And while I was doing that, the loved ones would come in and the same thing started happening, like the music, and they would surround the person. I would say, do you want to hear what they want to say? And everyone, of course, wanted to hear what they wanted to say because they were open to healing of some kind. And the messages were always so positive and loving. And I felt good about the delivery and felt comfortable with what I was doing. So I continued to do it. In those treatments is when I first saw angels. I was working with someone who had a lower energy, or they were having a really hard time moving some low energy. And I did all the Reiki stuff I knew how to do, and I couldn't move it. And I prayed and I saw an angel come and help. And basically annihilate a spirit, like a really low, dark spirit. Yeah. I saw it myself with my own eyes. Then I got chills right now. Then I knew at that point, Angela, I knew angels existed. I knew they were so powerful. And I was like, whoa, if I just do everything I do and use the angels, it has more power.
Mm.
It's from God. To
Mhm.
me, angels, I mean, I see them as a part of God. So then I could connect it to God again, and the work to God, and my belief in God, and which is really strong, and never really, you know, I never really doubted God. I just doubted the gift and
Mhm.
its purpose. So that was my aha moment that aligned it all up and aligned up what I understood and could share with people. And
Floodgates open after that one experience? Was it like, so your power was
yes,
dormant, like your ability and your gift was kind of dormant?
it was dormant. It was growing, like developing, but it was not totally open. And I was not using angels
Okay,
up until that point.
got it.
And then when I understood them, I was like, oh, they just do everything. They can do it all. And people started coming to me, well, I don't want Reiki this time. I just want you to tell me what they want to say today. So that's when the readings started. Honestly,
Wow.
yes, they started because there were so many loved ones in the Reiki sessions. People would go, you know what? I just don't want to lay on the table today. I just want to talk to my grandma
Oh
and
my,
my mom. And then that began my whole the career I do now,
you're
the real
amazing.
career, I guess. That's what
You
happened.
know, when you explain that, and thank you so much for that amazing explanation. I had tears in my eyes twice, and it touched my heart because what you just gave, also, by the way, for anybody watching, this has helped me on my spiritual journey because just like you as a Christian, you know, brought up especially very with certain specific beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
it has been something that I also have struggled with too, because I'm like, how do I tell someone that is a fellow believer as I am in Christ that this is something that I'm doing without sounding crazy, you know? But the truth
Mm-hmm.
is, what sold me was when I met you last year in person at the blogger event, my grandfather was there. And if there was a Christian man, there was a Christian man. I'm like, the fact that my grandfather showed up with you able to tell me what he was saying, and you knew my uncle's name, you knew that my baby was wearing for the first time ever a red onesie because you were like, your papa's with him. I was like, this has to be, again, I have chills. I've had chills like 4 times when we're talking. I was like, this has to be of the light. This has to be a blessing. It's not a negative, scary thing. I'm still overcoming my fear little by little every day. But whenever, for those watching, whenever I have chills, Debbie was the one that taught me. That's my grandmother. That's my mother's mother, my Filipino
Mm-hmm.
grandmother, who lets me know I'm either speaking the truth or I'm on the right track. And thank you so much, Debbie, for telling me that, because it's like I have tested it. You know, and it works. My nanai is over me and she's so helpful. I'm like, thank God I have some kind of instant physical response. So when you were talking, I've had so many chills. Like, I know that you're speaking the truth in my heart. And I just find that this is so fascinating. And what you said too, you help people. Like, you've helped me, you've helped the people that I've sent to you. I feel that you do have a blessing. And I know you feel like it's not even really work for you because you can see the benefit. You can see how you
Mm.
sometimes you help people heal from trauma. I mean, that's a tremendous gift.
I am open to whatever comes through me. And a lot of times that is the angelic energy coming through and giving the person, if they're open, whatever healing they need, whether it's through the words or the energy and or an understanding, and just someone being open to receiving it, healing can go in. That's when there's an opening.
Have you, because I know you've got a regular client in me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be coming to see you like every month, like, do you have people like me that are like you're consistent, and you've seen their spiritual growth over the years that like you've been able to help them multiple times? Has that been something that you've done?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had clients, I've been doing this almost 20 years, and I've had clients that still I know from 20 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
And to watch them grow. And this is something you don't need to do all the time. It's something that as needed, like your heart will just pull you. So I might not hear from someone for 5 years.
Mm.
So it just depends on as the soul needs. This is soul work.
Mhm.
It's pretty deep. It can be really deep, but awesome.
Listen, I got a lot of Christian friends, so, and there are many, I'm like, I don't want to tell them because I'm scared they'll judge me, but I also feel at the same time compelled to share the message of, I spoke with you and my life has tremendously been enhanced and I have had healing. I've had, blessings and just like wonderful things that I believe are from the angels that are from God. So I definitely feel that, my personal experience with you, I kind of want to share that. So it's hard for me to hide it under a light because my personality is I just want to share everything, like this is working for me. So I've just been doing the one-on-one phone calls with people like, listen, let me tell you, this is for me. This is what she said to me. Then you need to do a session with her too. And like everybody wants to do a session with you because you say messages of love and healing. Like that's in fact one of your prayers is you say, let the messages be, of the light. And that's a reassurance to me. Like when you start off like that, I'm like, this is going to be positive. It's going to be so positive.
The whole point, like I said, when I made that deal with God, I'm like, it's got to help people. It's got to be good, and what I love about angels and what I've realized about angels. Oh, where's the baby?
I don't know. I think
Is he there? Oh,
I'm sorry, but
I'm
this is
like
important.
excited.
When
I'm
he comes in,
excited.
I'll tell you.
Okay. Um, the wonderful thing about angels, using them or using God and angels with this kind of gift, is it filters the lower energies. It goes into the highest source of where can this energy come from. So there are a lot of people with my gift who can read all the fears and all the lower energies. And my experience is the angels just pull it to the highest consciousness. So it comes in a high consciousness. And that's why it's positive. I believe God is bigger than any religion and angels are bigger than religion.
Oh yeah.
And I accept them all.
That's
And
right.
now I understand what I didn't understand because of this work
Mm-hmm.
in such a big way that I embrace every religion and everyone seeking a spiritual path.
That's so powerful. Like literally 100%. Everything you're saying today, as always. Like every time I talk to you, I'm like, you always are just giving me the blessings. You're pouring them out. Um, I do have specific questions for you, if you don't mind, about like,
Yeah.
okay, so you said you see them, like you can physically see them? Like,
Yes, sometimes. So I'm able to see in the third eye, but to me, it looks like a movie. So, for example, I could see you and your grandma, and I saw her like she was in front of us, in a movie. Like I can see her. It's my own movie of you, if that makes sense. It's like I'm watching a movie of you. And the angels also, they appear differently and with different colors and different statures. Gabriel, for example, is gigantic. I can't even, I mean, at least 12, 15 feet high and immense power. Michael, Archangel Michael, appears blue, kind of a bluish color, and has this magnetic pull. So he feels different. He's got a very different pull. It's almost like a force that, angels have a magnetic field. We have a magnetic field. So when they cross your, magnetic field, it feels like you're getting this pull, almost like a magnet when it's opposite ways. It's amazing. It's amazing. I feel them, see them, hear them, just like the loved ones, but they're very different. They're not human. Definitely, they've never been human. Yeah.
can I ask you for advice for someone like me that this kind of world is new? So do you have advice for, you had told me the last time I spoke with you to just start with talking to my nanai because, she's comfortable and known and loved, but for going into the angel realm where we make a specific prayer to Archangel Michael for protection or a specific angel, do you have any advice for how we approach it or how we can open our mind to receiving a message? Do you have any advice for someone like me that's kind of a beginner, if you will?
Oh yeah. So angels talk in our heart. They're already around you, quietly and persistently constantly saying things in your heart underneath fear. So the voice of fear in our heart is much louder, our head, than the quiet voice of angels. And it's a quiet voice of hope. One of the first things happens in a reading is you'll hear what you've been hearing quietly that you couldn't really believe. That was like, really? That's really true? That's so too good to be true. Or how could that be true? That's angels, believe it or not. If you're wondering how they're already talking to you. And like your grandmother, here's someone giving you that intuition. So angels and loved ones on the other side work through our intuition. They work through our consciousness. So they're giving you like a gut feeling. They're giving you this intuitive, like, I better call my mom. I better go check on the baby. That is coming from heaven. That's coming from loved ones that care about you and archangels.
When I first did a message reading with you, I think in February, you gave me a lot of message that I'm like, honestly, what you are telling me is much bigger than I would have ever imagined for myself. So I know that this couldn't be for a huge blessing. But then the next time I spoke with you, because I had started doing more prayer and more meditation and like, again, the spiritual awakening, I was like, Debbie, I pretty much knew the answer already to everything you were going to tell me. Now I'm still coming to you because I need that confirmation. I need you to be like, yes, this is what Nanai said. But at the same time, I'm also like, I do believe that my intuition is growing. How can someone like me better trust the intuition? Because I'm sure you get this question a lot about somebody being like, Debbie, I felt your answer already, but I just didn't believe it. Like, how do you overcome that not trusting your gut?
It's a muscle.
Okay.
I call it the intuitive muscle. It's just like you're at the gym and your muscle can't pick up anything but the 5 pound. And then in 2 months, it's picking up the 15 pound. Same thing with intuition. So start by listening to it in your daily life.
Okay.
Like, okay, for some reason today, I'm going to go to Target at this time. And I don't know why, but that's, just trust that in the daily life. And you'll start to see it match up. Like everything you usually go, that's nuts. Everything you usually do that to, listen to it for a day or two and follow it and see what happens. That is the best way to build that muscle. Let
me ask you this, because I thought I had an intuitive glimpse. I was like, maybe I'm being a little Debbie like the snack cake, But I was
good. Yes.
I have to tell you, well, there's an, I don't want to say unhappy ending because that's not unhappy. It's it's life. But my husband's uncle, I believe it's his great uncle, I had a text message from his mother 2 or 3 days ago saying about how he was in the hospital and his cancer, and I was like, I believe he will recover. He will make a recovery, even though he's older and all these things. And I didn't share that intuition because I was like, I don't know if that's true. Debbie, I was wrong. He passed last night, I believe last night or yesterday afternoon. So that was kind of, I had to tell you, it was a setback for me too. Obviously I'm very sorry for his family as well. I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple times, but I think my intuition was wrong. So it kind of made me feel a setback. Like I'm not where I thought I was. Does that make sense? Like,
I understand, but I want to tell you, your intuition was right. You just read it wrong.
Okay. In what way? This is a confusing statement for me.
He had peace.
Okay.
He got chills. Peace.
Nanai's like, this is true. So I have chills. But I thought it was like a full physical recovery on this earth.
So it feels, so when you get intuition, that this is the psychic and the also intuitive part where it gets tricky. A lot of times intuition can be reading the soul. And a lot of times it can be physical. You don't know. But whatever you got was so positive. It wasn't really about your ability. That was right. But it was the interpretation. The interpretation was he had peace. He was okay with going. He was okay either way. Up until a soul crosses, it is in negotiation with them and God. This is my understanding. I don't get information like that someone's going to cross. Angels don't know. But up until, no one will really know. Up until the time of death, it is in negotiation all the way up. So it could go either way the whole time. So there was a point probably where he thought about staying, had peace with it, and then also negotiation for himself. You know what I'm saying? I don't think your intuition was wrong. I just think the interpretation, and I know he has peace.
That I do believe. And I like your way of explaining it, because I was like, oh, I was completely off, but when you think about it again, the way that I was brought up, I'm like, I believe he's in heaven and is no longer suffering. So
Yeah,
he lived a
he
wonderful.
has peace.
Thank you for explaining that. That was really, really helpful. This is actually, this type of message is really good for someone that might be wondering, I feel like even before I met you, I already had faith that death was not a bad thing, you know.
Mm,
But I also feel that this has expanded my consciousness that it's really not a bad thing, and
right,
our loved ones are still there for us, and we can call upon them. We can ask for their help. And like you said, it was my first path on my pure spiritual journey was to pray, asking my nanai to help me with a specific XYZ prayer. And that was my
right.
first little baby step where I was like, let me get a little more comfortable with this, because let me tell you something. It's funny that I was raised Southern Baptist, but I have been, I don't think you know this about me, I have been a Catholic church organist, meaning like my personal belief system is Southern Baptist, but yet my mom, she's Filipino, so like 99% of Filipinos are Roman Catholic.
Right,
And so I
right,
play at Catholic churches. I play at all kinds of churches. If it's a church, I'm gonna play at it. I'm not, I'll play whatever. But the Catholics have much more of that. I know you know this, the broader sense of like Saint Michael, which is
right.
Archangel Michael. And I feel that I've always ignored that. And I'm like, the Catholics had it right. Like it's like that religion is very open to the angels and praying to the saints. And I was like, I've always ignored it. And here I am saying a prayer to my Nana. I don't worship her. I worship God,
Right.
but I also am like very comfortable saying, Nana, you told me, you were like, ask her, help you find your keys. Let me tell you this crazy story. This was like the day after I think I'd spoken with you, because you, by the way, you awakened many miracles for me. Like after I talk to you, I always have like miracles happen right and left. And I think it's because you tune me into the higher vibration. Thank you.
Mm.
But I had prayed, I swear this was like the day after I spoke with you, and I said, Nana, I am missing my eyeglasses. They're the blue light reading glasses. And I'm like, I've been missing them for like 3 weeks. Can you help me find them? I said the prayer in the kitchen. I walked upstairs to this room. They were sitting on the book that I was reading, Gabby Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back. They were sitting
Oh,
right there. And obviously my husband had placed them, but I believe my Nana had led him to place them. And I literally was like, Nana, you are too good to me. This was too instant of a blessing, like of an instant prayer answered. I mean, that's kind of like a sexy story to tell, but truth be told, I'm sure you've had stories like that where your clients have said, I said a prayer, you instructed me to build a relationship with my guardian angel or something like that. And then miracles like this started happening, synchronicities.
100%. Our loved ones and the angels are in consciousness. Consciousness is 90% of reality. So you put the thought out there, you give them permission, then they start telling you, go look in the room. Why don't you go by the nightstand? Those thoughts start going through your head quickly. Instead of like, I'm going to go out to the car, you went up there. It was those thoughts that she gave you to go find it. She led you with your thoughts. That's how angels work when we ask them for help. That's how loved ones work when we ask them for help. And the reason we ask them, and what this is all stuff I learned, guys. This is not something that I just woke up and knew. It's like trial and error, learning myself. But that without permission, they can only do so much. So with the little things, ask them and be specific. Like, I need a parking spot in the front, whatever. I need to find my glasses. Like, we can be that specific and get that kind of help from them.
I called that manifestation before I started working with you. And now I'm like, there is so much power and so many blessings from the angels that we should not be afraid of it. And just like you said, it's the muscle, developing that muscle,
Yeah.
developing that comfort level, and also
Mm-hmm.
inviting them to help us, because I have been studying ever since I met you. I've been studying about like angels and things, and they, like you said, they need the permission. So I've been praying every day saying, thank you, beings of the highest truth and compassion, for revealing to me what I need to know. You know, what do you need
Yeah.
me to do today? Like, what is my purpose for today? And I think that that builds the faith. It builds the relationship on both sides, where they feel more comfortable working with me and helping me, because I need a lot of help. I mean, who doesn't? You know?
We all do, Angela. We all do. I do. I'm still human, even though I have this experience. It's still, I have a very human life, and it's the same stuff I have to do. So I just teach people what I've learned, because I can hear them and see them. I still have to use the same tools in my own life.
What you're telling me is what I needed, but I believe there's somebody out there on YouTube who needed to hear everything you just said. Also, I want to give you the time now. If there's someone out there who does still, despite all the things that you have said today, and my personal testimony about how you've helped me, if there's someone out there who still has fear, what would you say to encourage them to consider coming to someone like you that can help?
I think, first of all, yeah, if someone is too afraid of this work, they wouldn't get what the benefits. So it's better to wait until you're ready. But I've seen people be afraid, and then when 3 years later they're ready. And when they're ready, that's when they're supposed to come. So I would say you can't force that, and it can't be, you can't make yourself be unafraid, really. But when the fear releases enough to check it out, that's when you're really ready. That's the right time. That's your timing. If that's your thought, that would be
Everything
your
you always
timing.
say is so reassuring. This is like 100%. But of course, like you said, it's spirit led. And it's almost like,
Yeah.
the angels speak through you. You are the communicator. You're the human voice, giving them the knowledge that they tell you, which is so powerful and so blessed. I will have in the description box below contact information for your website for someone that is interested in booking a session with you. Obviously, I cannot say enough good things, and I'm just grateful for you, not only for your messages, but also for you and your spirit. I feel like very intuitively that you have a good, kind heart. Like I can tell, and so I'm grateful for that. And just not only me, but my friends and family members you've already shared your gifts with. Thank you. So Debbie's interview ended up wrapping short a little bit because her angels, I think, reminded her she had to go, so her video cut out. But at the very end, it was more personal stuff for me, so I don't mind that at all. I hope this video has blessed you and opened your eyes just a little bit to angels being a positive force for good in our lives. And I believe that God created them for us. They are messengers from Him, and we are meant to hopefully use them in a positive way to enhance our lives. That's my hope, that you got this as a takeaway. Thank you so much as always for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, comment below with what you thought about it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.